Okay, another review. This time it's the newest offering from the Garrison brewery. This is their Hop Yard Pale Ale, okay, and it's dry hopped. Now, if you're not sure what dry hopped means, essentially what they do is they add hops after the boil into the wort. And what this does is it increases the flavor and aroma of the hop character, but it does not increase the IBUs of the beer, okay? So an interesting fact about this beer is that this is an attempt by Garrison to produce a beer that is made 100% of local ingredients. They had a deal with this farm in Nova Scotia called Ross Farm, which is actually an actual sort of a museum here in Nova Scotia, which shows traditional farm life and things like that. And way back in the day, all farms had hops growing in them, for bread making, etc., etc. So they struck a deal with Ross Farm to grow hops for this beer, and the idea is to try to, probably won't work, but it's to encourage more people to grow hops to try to somehow make up for the shortage of hops worldwide, which is actually a problem right now because there's just, there's an increasing demand for hops from craft brewers and microbreweries, etc., etc., who use lots and lots of hops for the beers, unlike the big macro companies. So this is 5.3%. It's a pale ale, and we're going to try it out now. Very orange body to it. I want to say amber, but really it's far more orange than amber. Very, very nice. Sort of looks like an IPA kind of thing. The head's slightly less than a finger, but it's kind of fluffy. And it looks like it's going to leave some nice lacing, so that's nice. So we'll get right into the aroma now. Smells a lot like an IPA. It has a very, and this is where, of course, the citrus, the dry hopping comes in. You get sort of an IPA, sort of a citrus, sort of pine aroma going on here. Not so much a grapefruit citrus as it's more of an orange zest kind of citrus in this case. And sort of a piney resin kind of smell. It's actually very nice. There's no real sharp bitter notes in the aroma. And maybe a little bit of caramel, but not a lot. So it's not necessarily a traditional IPA smell, but it's sort of similar. I guess this uses West Coast varieties of hops, hop strains apparently. So it will give off more of a sort of a piney kind of smell. Yeah, it's very nice. Kind of smooth, a little bit mild, not as strong as you'd be used to for like an IPA. So we'll go right to the taste now. Tastes a lot like an IPA. If you go back in my archive, just actually a few reviews ago really, you'll see my review for Pump House SOB Special Old Bitter. This tastes a lot like that. Although it doesn't have the sort of ESB-like qualities that the SOB did. This is much more about the hop flavors and aromas. Like I said, the alcohol level The ABV for this one is only 5.3%. And the bitterness at the end, it does linger, but it's a sort of a piney bitterness, and it's not as sharp as one would want from an IPA, at least a North American IPA anyway. Oh man, if you really dig a piney kind of taste, like a pine resin sort of taste in your hops, this is definitely a beer for you. This is all hops, man. It doesn't have much as far as malt, caramel malt tastes or anything like that to balance it out. And it doesn't need it because it's kind of weird, the hops in this, because it's not as bitter because of the dry hopping process. You get more flavors actually from the hops, so the flavors from the hops actually balance out the bitterness from the hops, which is unique. I don't think I've ever had a beer that's done that before. Wow, that's really good. It's very smooth drinking too. I think any fans of IPAs or much hoppier sort of American pale ales would be really, really into this beer. Wow. I'm starting to become more of a hop head, getting much more into these sort of hoppy flavors and aromas, and this is really, really nice. Definitely not something I'd session, but because it does sort of have a bit of a thick mouthfeel to it too. It feels a little heavy going down, so maybe 2 or 3 of these in a row, but that's about it. Ooh. Man, oh man, that's a nice beer. I dare say I even like this better than the Pump House SOB. This one's just a bit smoother, and the lingering bitterness, it's not sharp, it's just sort of a mild bitterness, and it retains the flavor of the hops. That sticks to the back of your throat, and if you like that taste, you would love this, that sort of piney, resiny taste. Very, very nice. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Damn. This could be my highest rating in a while for a beer. 4.5 out of 5. That's an excellent, excellent fucking beer, man. Hop Yard Pale Ale, dry hopped from Garrison Brewery. And I think this is only a seasonal of theirs. I don't know if it's year long or not. Pretty sure it's only a seasonal. I have to check Beer Advocate again to see, but yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for this beer. Definitely worth checking out if you're ever in the Maritimes.